Now in this video, we're going to look at the shortcut method of long division. So we're doing the same process, but we're going to do a little more mental math here. So in this first problem, we're going to do how many times does 3 go into 4? It goes in one time, that gets me to 3. So how many leftovers do I have? I have 1. So 3, 4, that gets me 1 leftover. So I'm going to cross off my 4 and carry my 1 leftover to my next place value. So now I'm going to say how many times does 3 go into 12? It goes in 4 times with 0 leftovers. So I'm going to bring my 0 over here. And for the last question, how many times does 3 go into 6? It goes in 2 times with no leftovers, so I would have a remainder of 0. So my quotient would be 142 with no remainder. Now looking at that same strategy with a problem that has a remainder, I'm going to say 5 goes into 7 one time, but I have 2 leftovers because 5 goes into 7 one time, which is 5, and then 6, 7. I have 2 leftovers, so I'm going to cross off my 7 and carry my 2 leftovers over here. Now 5 goes into 25 5 times, again with no leftovers, because 5 times 5 is exactly 25. And then 5 goes into 8 one time, but I'm going to have 3 leftovers because there's no other number to bring it next to. That goes up as my remainder. So I'd have 153, or 151, remainder 3. Continuing with the shortcut method on some of the zeros that we had in the middle of our problems, just like the traditional method video, is 4 goes into 6 one time with 2 leftovers. So I'm going to cross off my 6 and bring my 2 leftovers next door. Now 4 goes into 24 6 times with no leftovers. So I'm going to bring my no leftovers over here. And now I'm in that situation where 4 does not go into 2. So I need to say that 4 goes into 2 0 times. So that means I still have 2 leftovers that I have. I didn't use those. I wasn't able to get to there. So now 4 does not go into 2, so that's my remainder of 2. So I have to put that 0 there if it doesn't go into this number before I ultimately skip to my remainder. In this question, 6 goes into 6 one time with no leftovers. So now here's another situation where 6 does not go into 3. So I need to say it goes into 3 0 times. So if I have 0, that means I still have 3 leftovers. So I need to bring those 3 leftovers over to my 7. Say how many times does 6 go into 37? Be 6 times. And that was 1 leftover because 6 times 6 is 36, so 36, 37, 1 leftover. And there's no other numbers, so that becomes my remainder. And then just like in the traditional method, if 5 does not go into 4, I'm going to say how many times does 5 go into 42? So 5 goes into 42 8 times with 2 leftovers. So I have 2 leftovers. 5 goes into 26 5 times with 1 leftover. There's no other numbers, so 1 becomes my remainder. So that's the shortcut method, which you can see takes less time, but you've got to do a little more mental math involved with that.